Hello, you courageous and wonderful, beautiful souls and my companions here on the earth as we march forward, hopefully into, and I like to believe that we are moving into an era of peace and joy and love and harmony and all that good stuff. I'm a little bit tired tonight because the energies are like, ooh, got me bouncing off the walls. They're very intense, and that's what we're talking about. We are, if you'll remember, you are an electrical system, and the energies, the frequencies that are all around us, because we're subject to the sun, we're subject to the earth energies, and we're subject to planetary influences as well. And then we have our own frequency too. And I've been helping a friend with packing and cleaning up after the death of her beloved husband. So this is just a little bit of a stressful time for me. And so I'm sorry if I look a little bedraggled. I am. So what are we talking about here? What we're talking about today is that the frequencies and energies that we're dealing with right now are a part of who we are. The energies that are coming in can influence everything that's going on in our lives. In fact, I can get quite tired, or I can be absolutely bouncing off the walls, and it's energetically influenced. In fact, the energies and the frequencies that are coming at us now are have an effect on our entire body. They affect the brain, the spinal column, all the way down to the sacrum, which is the base of your spine, and all the organs and glands. So we are really subject to a lot of things going on here today and the last few days, and we had a full moon, and that has an influence as well. So let's see, I'm going to take these off because I think they're reflecting the light a little bit, so, and I can't see a thing without them hardly, so we'll just do the best we can. Always pick a topic and just try to go for it. So okay, so the frequencies are what we are. We are energy, and we talk about it almost every single visit, in that words can lift you up because words have a frequency. Words can weigh you down because words are energetic. People that we know may be sad or lonely or fearful or angry, and you may be being asked to step in and help them with whatever the situation is. I'm going to ask you to monitor yourself very closely. There are times when we should not. It doesn't behoove us, let me put it that way. If there's a should or should not, then we ought to be doing it. What's most important is your own energy. Well, how many times have we been told, if you have poor health, how can you help anyone else? And so you can't. You are subject to sometimes being flattened out or having a cold or the flu or whatever it is these days. So you have the ability to say, Mary, I'm just not in a position to help you with that today. I can listen for a minute, and then can I call you back? Or, Mary, can I call you back later today, tomorrow, or in a day or two? I have a lot I'm dealing with. Or John or Michael, or whoever it is. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Our ability to attract what we want into our lives is completely founded and based on the frequencies that we're operating at. When you are a happy camper, the soul is telling you that this is good. You know, you're doing well, keep it up. And if you're not a happy camper, the soul is saying, you got to come back over here because you're not happy right now. And that's really the topic of today, is that you are a mirror. When you come into contact with someone, and you can make them laugh, or that you are enjoying each other and the time that you have together, that person is saying, you know, I'm so glad that Claudia stopped by today. And you can say to yourself, I'm so glad that I was in Joyce's company, because it was really uplifting. It helped us to maintain a higher level of energy. And when that happens, when we're able to sustain, whether it's low energy or high energy, we will attract more of that into our lives. And so what we want to do is attract a good life, a happy life, an abundant life, good people around us, a job that supports and sustains our skill level and our happiness factor. And, you know, work is meant to be fun. It does not have to be a 4-letter word. And so enjoy your work. If you're not enjoying your work, then look for ways in which you can either elevate that energy that you're operating in or surrounded by, or I would say find ways to look for something else to do. And to me, that's an inward job. That's an inner job. I'll never forget when my son was unhappy with the job that he was in. And he did not quite know what to do. And he left that job and moved back to an area he'd lived in that was prosperous. And it seemed to feel right to him to do that. And then he was surrounded by people who uplifted and supported him, and made his days go a little better. But he still could not find the job, or he was not attracting the job that he wanted to have. And 3 or 4 months went by, and he'd been sleeping on couches, and we talked often. And he finally just said, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, you'll figure it out. And sure enough, he got a job. And he got a job that was a bump up, but an intensified version of what he had been doing. And so he really wasn't leaving the field that he had been in, that he was really unhappy with. And so he did get a good job, a really good job. And about 6, 7, 8 weeks went by, and we were talking. It had been the first time we'd talked since he'd gotten that job. And I asked him how it was going, and he got into all the positives and wonderful things, and how much he was enjoying it, and how interesting certain aspects of it were, that it was a lot of hard work and a lot of intense hours and a lot of research and documents and whatnot. Well, anyhow, so, and then he just stopped right midstream of what he was telling me. I could hear the silence was palpable, and all of a sudden he said, you know, Mom, ooh, I'm tipping myself. And I'm not tipsy, but my camera seems to be. He said, you know, Mom, he said, it's not very satisfying. He said, it's not fulfilling. And I said, well, son, it seems to me it's time that you ask your inner compass what it would have you do. Because remember, as a soul and as someone connected with something bigger than you and me that has your back, that wants the absolute best and most profound life for you, is at your beck and call. So he said, oh, I hadn't thought about that. And so, you know, we concluded our conversation, and about 10 days later, he called me, and he said, I am so I could hear the excitement in his voice. You know how it is when you are happy about something, you want to share it with the world. And about 10 days had gone by, he called me and he said, you're going to be so surprised. He had studied business and was, I don't know, 17 credits or something away from that particular degree. I could be wrong about that, but he hadn't quite completed it. He was really close. And he said he wanted to be a doctor. And he said, I've never had a medical thought in my head, but he said, I want to be this particular doctor. And I said to him, it sounds to me like you asked your guidance. And he stopped and he said, must have. But I want to tell you, when you are lined up with the energy that makes you happy, then you are like Esther Hicks, of the Abraham Hicks duo, says you're on a high-flying kite, and there is so much truth in that. You are up there, you're in the clouds, there is nothing can bring you down. You are absolute joy and delight. And I can tell you that that was 7 or 8 years ago, and he is now in that profession for a few years and is absolutely thrilled. He is so happy with the work that he is doing. So I just want to encourage you to pay attention to how you're feeling. Like I said, I'm a little bit low today, a little bit dragged down by whatever the energy is and the things that are just happening in my life. And so it's been an interesting day for me, attempting to periodically throughout the day say, oh, where are you? I mean, you're like, it's almost like I want to, once today I said, you're like in the toilet, you need to get out of there. That is not a healthy place to be. And so folks, do not let yourself get that low. And I went out, I took myself outside for a few minutes, walked a little bit. That was not lifting me up. I came back in and put on some music and just danced and danced. Music will always, always uplift me. And I don't know what it is for you, but I would ask you to do what it is that lifts you up and makes you feel good. And know that we are in each other's lives. You and I, it's not an accident that you're here with me, that we're walking the earth together during these times that are really challenging in so many ways, lots and lots of ways. And the biggest thing that you were challenged with is becoming aware of how you're feeling, how you're doing throughout the day, noticing whether you need to turn around and go in the other direction. And it isn't always easy. I'm a practiced veteran, and it still is a challenge for me at times to at least turn sideways and look in a different direction, look at something different, put on some music and clear your mind. Meditation is an absolute wonderful thing, and we'll talk about that one of these days. So anyhow, I hope that you had a wonderful day, and I hope that you'll have wonderful days ahead, and that each and every day, each moment of every day, that you recognize is a precious gift. Enjoy it. thank you for visiting with me today, and I will see you in the next video. I want you to know how much I love you. It's bigger than this. It's so big you can't see it. And be sure to give a thumbs up, a subscribe, and share and discuss and leave comments for me. I'm very happy to try and address each of your comments, questions, or concerns. All right, I want you to take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.